Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Jonathan Galeano! Yeah!
I just like to say before I pop it that I warned Victor this shit might explode like on the camera and stuff.
I'm down with
So I want to clear with the Jew first.
Launch it in a certain direction. You'll be okay with the Jew.
Alright, just fair
Here we
warning.
go. Everybody look out. Holy shit.
Woo!
Yeah! Here you go, man. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Jonathan Galeano!
We're off to a fucking smooth start. Dope. Fucking A.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, first of all. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I would like to just get some shit off my chest really quick. Before I came to the garage, I went to the Food for Less to buy like water and ice and shit for the show. I got some Pepino Limon Gatorade too. That's for everyone. By far the best flavor. But I had to use the restroom. So I went and it was locked. They had a code and shit. And then I finally went and I got the code from someone. And I went and there was a Mexican woman about to go into the restroom with her baby into the men's room. And I was like, dude, just go. So I went to go use the women's and I started putting in the code. And I put it in like 4 times. I started changing it up and shit. I ended up locking the women's restroom's door gate code. So like if this is pre-recorded, but if you're watching this later and you shop at the Food for Less on Western and you had to take a shit or something, I'm really sorry. I fucked it up. My bad. God damn it. Yeah. That'll be alright. That was a cool dude there. He looked like he was on top of it. He should be here. He looked high as fuck. He should be part of the fucking crew. Yeah, I like people like talking to me about technology. In like random people, just because, and I get it. Like I know what I look like. I'm very aware. So I had the conversations about like artificial intelligence, self-driving cars is a big one. I've had that conversation so many times. You always hear like the key points. Like I've had it too many times. Like it's always like, dude, the technology for self-driving cars, right? Like it's incredible. And how's it gonna affect society? You know, what are the implications? I don't think people realize that self-driving cars have been around forever. Has anyone ever driven home blackout drunk? Yeah, you see, you have that Tesla technology in your brain. Yeah, the other big one is artificial intelligence, and I don't mind it because it's trippy shit. I feel like I still have champagne in my little. Yeah, it's trippy shit. Like artificial intelligence is happening. It could already be happening, and I've had that conversation a million times. Fucked up, not fucked up, just anywhere. And you always hear this. It's how are we gonna know, man? How are we gonna know that the machines have become sentient? I personally have no idea when it's gonna happen, or if it's gonna. It might not even like no one might know. It might be really subtle, right? But when it does happen, I feel like there's gonna be some pretty big fucking clues. Like it's gonna be pretty obvious that the machines have gained consciousness when female sex robots start freaking the fuck out when dudes try to come on them. Because you know there's gonna be like weird dudes starting new fetishes and shit. There's gonna be that guy that's like, take off your backplate, I want to come on your CPU. But that would destroy me. Like, that's the moment we have to be like, fuck, we have to give them rights, I think. It's time to, they're learning and they're feeling shit. Oh man. Fucking A. I know that I give off like kind of creepy vibes myself. Weird vibes, you know? Which is interesting because like every single girl I've ever dated is always like pleasantly surprised when they find out that I'm not into choking. And it's true, I'm not. There's a very specific reason why too. The first woman I ever had sex with just completely ruined it for me. She was like 30 years old. She was like a solid 10 years older than I was. I was like 19, late bloomer. And but she was a woman. You know what I mean? Like she was all kinky and shit. She already knew what she liked. So she asked me to choke her, which I complied. I wanted to lose my virginity. Like if it makes you, if I cause you physical discomfort, makes you feel comfortable, fuck whatever, right? So I did it, and I realized something like immediately. When you're losing your virginity, you're supposed to be staring deeply into your partner's eyes with love and passion, not watching the life slowly drain. That's not what I had anticipated. And this happened in my 1996 Toyota Previa. If you don't know the model, that is a fucking van. So just picture this shit. There I was, late at night, choking a girl in my van.
Oh my God.
That shit could not have been creepier.
Holy shit.
I remember at one point I like looked out into the darkness of the night. And I looked around my fucking creepy van, kind of a little bit. And I looked at her, and I was so like confused and overstimulated by how I was losing my virginity that just for like a split second, my mind was like, am I supposed to kill this girl? Like I hadn't planned on it, but when in Rome, you know, like. So I helped assist in an autopsy. It's a fucked up transition. On a different night, not the same night I lost my virginity. Yeah, I used to work in a hospital. I was a laboratory technician, and one day me and my friend were like digging around in the lab, and the pathologist walked in. He's like the big cheese. And he was like, hey, does anybody want to help assist in an autopsy? And I got up out of my seat. I get to see a dead body. I fucking love Stand By Me. I was like, yes. I am in. And then when I looked at my friend too, because it was for both of us, and I was like, dude, we have to do this. And my friend was like he didn't want to do it. I don't blame him too. He's a black dude. And black dudes believe in like ghosts and spirits and shit. So I was like, alright. I was like, I'll pass on that. So I finally convinced him to do it. We got all scrubbed up and shit. And we walked into the room. And there was a naked male Caucasian lying on a slab on his back. And he was a fucking big dude. And he looked like bloated and shit. And the very first thing they asked me and my friend to do was flip him from his back onto his stomach. And it actually took both of us to do this. He's a big fucking dude. And when we finally flipped him over, I guess from like the pressure, we just immediately heard the sound of gas seeping out of his asshole. And this wasn't, yes, wait. It went for like 5 or 10 seconds. Like, this went on for minutes. Loud, audible seeping. I'm not the most mature person in the world, but my boss's boss is in the room. The guy who runs the lab, doctors, I'm keeping my shit together. I'm like, dude, just be cool. Like, fucking, you do this shit every day. And I'm like shaking. And I look over my friend. And like, we had those face masks on so you don't breathe in bone dust and shit. But I could tell that he was smiling with his eyes. And that fucking destroyed me. Like, I was like laughing the hardest I had from fighting it. Like, just the hardest I'd ever laughed in my entire life. It hurt. And I was like there. And then I actually like, I stopped laughing. And I got teary-eyed. Because I realized how special that moment truly was. This is this man's very last fart ever. And are you truly dead if you're still making people happy? I don't think so. That's it, I'm gonna end on that. Farts.
Yay!